To earn more, you have to have a sense of your value, your distinct difference, sometimes called brand, but it really goes deeper than that. And you have to believe the transformation you offer is worth it. Have you cried in a meeting? Have you broken into tears asking for help? Have you been in tears about your current job situation and yet not known what to do about it? In this short episode, I asked Dr. Melnick about two key scenarios I've seen over and over in the fitness industry. Whether it's happened to you or almost, or you can empathize because maybe you get it, but you wouldn't allow yourself to be in that situation. This is for you. The episode describing Dr. Melnick's new book is available at flipping50.com/in your power for you to listen to after this. Don't go anywhere. I'm Deborah Atkinson. You're listening to She Means Fitness Business, where I usually sit to help you with marketing, sales strategies that are easy, enjoyable, even fun, and anything but sleazy, pushy, and salesy. And I often will dive into also hormone balancing for women in menopause, giving you and sharing little juicy tidbits from the Flipping 50 Menopause Fitness Specialist course. Listen, right now, there's no better time to get involved in fitness. It's just a little more challenging to get attention. Everybody's online, and yes, your customers, but also your best friends in Pilates and yoga and personal training and every other piece of health coaching or fitness that you want to chunk up. So it's more important than ever that you get clear. This podcast will help you do it. My guest is Dr. Sharon Melnick. She's an executive coach for women leaders who she shows them how to be heard, stop second guessing, and to use their power to create change. Her approaches are informed by 10 years of psychology research at Harvard Medical School. She's coached or trained 40,000 professionals at over 50 Fortune 500 companies and numerous startups and women-led companies, and presented at conferences worldwide, including the White House, West Point, and the United Nations. Her new book about how women can use their power to advance their career and end disrespect is titled Your Power: React Less, Regain Control, Raise Others. It's available right now for pre-order as I release this. If it's available, you still want to go get it, and you want to come to the links in the show, by the way. She is also the best-selling author of Success Under Stress: Powerful Tools to Stay Calm, Confident, and Productive When the Pressure's On. Dr. Melnick enjoys hosting the Power Shift podcast. Okay, so Sharon, this is the behind the scenes. So this is for fitness pros and health coaches, and exclusively for them. We're going to send them over to listen to the full episode at Flipping 50, but these are juicy questions that I've seen for decades in the fitness industry, and now seeing it, of course, with health coaches as that expands. Female fitness professionals notoriously struggle to charge enough to make enough. What advice would you offer?
Yeah. So you really want to own your value. And what's happening there, if you're not charging enough to really support yourself and thrive, is you're thinking about your fees through the filter of what you think you are worth. And you are speculating what you think other people will pay. And so that's subjective. And you want to turn that around, and you want to be more quote unquote objective. So I would think about it more in terms of what is the value to the people that who are your clients. Like, what is it worth to them? Just think about, like, when you have more energy, when you don't have your health, when you don't have your fitness, it's like everything is wrong in your world, And I was just coaching women in a women's leadership development program in a company, and we helped a woman to leave at a decent time and start working out. And 2 weeks later, she gets back on the call, and she's like, "I've been doing this every day," and she's like, "This is the best I've ever felt." you know? So it's like you really, really have to appreciate the value of what it is that you are bringing. And then another thing that I would say is that, in terms of how much people charge, it's really, I know you might say, well, there's like a market value, and like there's some truth to that. I'm saying, be reasonable, like within range, but really there's people who are charging lower than you, people are charging what you're charging, and there's people who are charging so much more, like 10 times what you're charging per hour, and having packages and all of that. And so that's really because that's the way that they value themselves, and they create an experience for their clients, and their clients have a sense of like, how valuable it is to know that person, and they probably, bring even more than just what goes on in that hour to their life. So it's really about you and like kind of how you value yourself and value what you're bringing to them, and kind of like, be all about it. Like, like be a woman in her power. A woman in her power raises everyone around her. So be that woman.
Fantastic. Okay, this is a tricky one, but I've seen this also for decades. Women in fitness, particularly, less so health coaches, because health coaches often are kind of working on their own and less involved in the fitness arena as far as hard businesses. But working for small, mid, but even large size fitness centers, they tend to bring emotions with them to meetings. And the saying, there's no crying, I think it's supposed to be baseball, but I like to say there's no crying in business, comes to mind. But I've seen tears just way too often in meetings with upper management when it's relative to, why did so-and-so get the promotion? Or, they're struggling, but they won't ask for a raise. They will cry about being in a poor spot. Talk to me about tears, about giving that kind of power up. Or is that a kind of power a woman attempts to use?
OMG, this is such a good question. I have so much to say. Okay, let's dig into it. So, first of all, let's just get this clear, okay? When a woman cries in those situations, it is not out of her being quote unquote emotional or being weak or any of those kinds of things. It is out of pure frustration. Women cry out of frustration because they're so like frustrated with the situation, they like don't even have words, and there's no room in the room for their words. So this is a reframe. Okay. So this is what's going on. Now, in terms of women being quote unquote emotional, I don't think, I think that this is like a way of kind of labeling women that we want to kind of take this back, right? We want to reclaim this. So all human beings are emotional. Our emotions are kind of like the best of us and what motivate us to get to the gym and to persevere and to feel great about ourselves when we look at ourselves in the mirror, and all of that is like passion and emotion based. And, a woman wants to play all 88 keys of her emotional piano. That's what it means to be alive. That's what it means to be human. So we're not going to like perpetuate anything that's like negative, about being emotional. Do you want to be intentional? Do you want to be strategic? Do you want to be self-managed? Yes, you do. Okay. So, what's going on there is that usually a woman doesn't feel heard. And she doesn't feel heard, or she doesn't feel seen, or she feels overlooked. And especially if someone else got promoted when she was doing as good as, or probably better, that other person, especially if that person is a man. This is known bias. This is not necessarily about you. This has been absolutely proven. And if you want to get fancy about it, the McKinsey, the big consulting firm, comes out with a report every year, has been doing so in conjunction with Lean for the last 8 years. And they show this, they've surveyed like 50,000 people. And every year they show that this is true, that women are overlooked in these situations, and that they're not evaluated in the same way. So it is important that you take responsibility for your own career and your own advancement, and, kind of take care of yourself and value yourself. So you do need to ask. And you need to ask in a way that is effective. So you don't want to just go and ask and sort of say, I want to raise. It's okay to say that as part of it, but you want to make it not only about what you want, but actually what's going to benefit your manager, or what's going to benefit the gym, or what's going to benefit the whole organization or the company, or whatever situation that you're in. So you want to ask on behalf of others and how it's going to benefit others, not only how it's going to help you. And that is going to increase your chances of getting a yes. So there's a lot of things actually that you can control. You can know what other people are making, kind of in the area or at your level. You can bring that information. You can ask and know how to negotiate effectively. So it's understandable that you feel frustrated and you want to be in your power and you want to maximize what you can control in that situation. And there are so many things that you can control.
Love it. That was beautifully said. So thank you for the clarification there. All right, listeners, that's it. Those were 2 juicy rapid fire questions. Those were the behind the scenes ones only for you, for fitness pros and health coaches. We're going to send you over to flipping50.com/inyourpower to hear the rest. And I want you to apply it to 2 lenses. 1, taking care of yourself so that you can show up for your customers, but also how you show up for your business, because of anybody, it's most relevant to you. And what are you waiting for? The world needs you right now more than ever.